you were a schoolboy at Tottenham and then graduated to the senior team. What was it like playing along Glenn Hoddle and Ossie?
Yeah, oh, magnificent. At that time, that's probably, you know, I would say this Spurs side is a pretty special one, but that was a special one then. I think we finished runners-up in the league to Everton. We won 2 FA Cup finals, won a UEFA Cup semi-final of what is champion, what was then called the Cup Winners' Cup, so which is like the Europa Cup. Yeah, it was a fantastic time. Learned so much, and yeah, you know, it was something that I would never swap.
And obviously, you spent most of your career at Norwich.
Yeah.
Some would say that if you're at a bigger club, you would have played for England. You know, you had that ability. Do you agree with that view, or is that a bit harsh on Norwich?
No, we look at the end of it. Yeah, we was, I suppose, a small little provincial club, but at the end of it, I think we finished in my, you know, I think it was a 5 or 6 year period where the lowest we finished was 6th. We finished 3rd. We probably, looking back on it now, should have won the first Premier League. You know, we was, I think 4 games to go. We was in front, playing Man United at home, and ended up getting beaten that game. But we had a good side, and I don't regret any of that. I had chances to move on 2 or 3 occasions to so-called bigger clubs, but for me, Norwich suited the way I played, and I was more than happy with staying there.
And you went to Japan for a season. How did you end up with Northern Spirit in Australia? How did that come about?
Through Arnie, through Graham Arnold.
Yep.
Myself, Arnie and Popper all lived together in Japan, and then Graham got the job at Northern Spirit, and basically Japan, they'd offered me another deal there. At Norwich, I was going to go back into a coaching role there, and Arnie said to me, you know, you feel like playing for another year and come out. So I thought, oh, you know, I'll come out for a year and that'll be it. That was 13 years ago. So yeah, it was something that obviously was good, and it was a great sort of experience at Northern Spirit in year 1, and then obviously dipped away from there.
But yeah, they had amazing success in that initial stage, didn't they?
Yeah.
That Spirit.
Yeah, no, it was great. We, you know, packed houses at North Sydney Oval on a Friday night, and really good. Then obviously sort of financial side of it became difficult, and it gradually sort of crumbled away to nothing, and which is disappointing. But yeah, no, the initial period was really good.
And you went on to Newcastle, and you know had some success there. How do you look back, I guess, at your time in the NSL, and what did you think of the NSL as a competition?
It was a really good competition. There was a lot of sides in that were playing then that would compete right at the very top echelon of the A-League now. You know, Ange Postecoglou's South Melbourne team were a good side. You know, we had a good side here. Perth were an excellent side with good players. So there was a lot of good teams, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed my time at Newcastle. It was again 3 years of, when I look back now, sort of grew more as a coach there, and really enjoyed my time there.
So you got them to second. I mean, that was a fantastic achievement considering a very small club,
Yeah.
a very small budget compared to
Yes.
some of the NSL clubs, and you know the roster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, look, you know, for that the players deserve a huge amount of credit. They were a really good group of players. You know, we took so-called risks on a few, like Joel Griffiths and Milan Blagojevic, people like this, that people thought Milan was finished as a player, and others felt that Joel was too difficult to work with. They were massive for us, and people like Travis Dodd and Robbie Middleby and Matthew Bingley. Yeah, it was really good, and yeah, we sort of worked and brought some youngsters through there as well. People like Joe Wilhouse, Ben Kennedy, Stuart Macharlek, all sort of come through. So it was, yeah, a really enjoyable time there.
How do you see the Jets now? Obviously, yeah, a lot of those people have come through, and they had that success in 2008.
Yeah, I looked delighted for him. Obviously, Gary was my assistant there, and it was great to see him go on and win the A-League, and see them boys, you know, like your Joels and your Stewies come through and into into winners, and so it's nice. Yeah, look, I speak to Gary constantly on the phone, and I love Newcastle as a place, and just the feeling of the supporters. They're really passionate. So it's certainly a place I always enjoy going back to.
So that's going to be an interesting dynamic with Gary at Newcastle and Arnie at the Central Coast, and now Popper just across the
yes.
over in Homebush or wherever they end up.
It will be an interesting dynamic. It's last time that and three of us, obviously with Gary, was involved at Northern Spirit in year one when it all started as a youth team coach. So it's kind of funny now that all three of us that were living in a place together, or certainly myself and Arnie were living together, and Popper was on the next floor above us, but basically spent more time in our place anyway. To have the three of us in a confined space there, and now in a fairly confined space 13 years later in terms of geographically, it'd be interesting.
And comparing the NSL to the A-League, I mean, it seems to be something a lot of fans do these days. What do you see as being the differences between the two competitions?
It's more professional now. Just the whole aspect of it. The one thing I will say is there were some really good teams in the old NSL that would have more than held their own. Now there was good players, good teams. So for me, it's not so much on the playing side. It was just it's everything with the off-field stuff is just. I suppose it was a rough diamond then, and it's kind of been smoothed over and made to look sort of presentable and put into a really good package.